All right, everybody. What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to the Mets Weekly Podcast as we are live at this very moment on YouTube and on X to recap the Mets versus Cubs series, along with all of the latest news and rumors in New York Mets land. But before we do that, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to the Mets Weekly Podcast and to our YouTube channel for new episodes of this show that are recorded live after every single regular season series. For those of you watching or listening on playback, you want to join the conversation in the future, make sure to turn on those post notifications to know when we go live. Make sure to follow Mets Weekly and on X and TikTok. And also for our audio listeners, make sure to follow us on all your favorite listening platforms to not miss the audio version of new episodes that go up at 9 a.m. the following day. Also, make sure to give us a 5-star review. Be greatly appreciated. So without further adu, let's get into episode number 200 of our show. And yes, this is the 200th episode. Maybe we'll reminisce a little bit about these 200 episodes, plus more, because we've been doing this for a little bit longer than 200 episodes. But we'll reminisce about that probably at the end, but there is nothing really to reminisce right now about this ball club. It's just me for now, but it looks like Andrew will be joining maybe in a few minutes. He got caught up with some stuff, but either way, what's going on, everybody, right now, live in the chat? It is not a good situation right now for the Mets. It's very, very obvious what they're going through, which is just not only losing baseball, but of course, losing baseball games, which again, we talked about this plenty last year of playing losing baseball and winning games, but they were still maintaining somewhat of form to be in this, whether it is in contention. Again, I am not declaring this season over by any means. It is April still. But it's really, really hard to say that we can just, keep our chin up and keep going, because pretty much in all aspects of this game, this team is completely failing. There is basically like 1.5 bright spots right now on this team. And that's not a good enough formula for you to win baseball games. They look like complete crap. They've lost 11 games in a row. It has not been fun to watch whatsoever. It's been torture. The backlash from the fan base will be extra top-notch with, of course, the backlash from last year as well. Nobody's having a good time right now. No one. Nobody is enjoying this. And for those of you who are enjoying it just for the sake of wanting to be right about guys in the front office or guys on the field, I'm not going to give you the time of day. I'm sorry. It's just petty. It's ridiculous. But either way, the Mets are coming off of a series with the Cubs. They get swept, obviously. Offense is still struggling to possibly do anything. The overall process with the offense is bad. There's not as much to look up from. But they're going to have to figure it out somehow. And you hope that it's looking a little bit better going forward with a certain someone that will be back in the lineup. But we've already talked about it on here, using that as a crutch to say, this is the only thing keeping us together. Even as generational as a player like Juan Soto can be, he's not going to fix everything. And when you look at the underlying numbers for the pitching staff, I think that they're going to be fine. For this offense, I really can't tell. I really can't tell if this is going to look up. This is going to look up at all. And not for the reasons as to why people were talking about their concerns with the offense or concerns with the guys that were added to this lineup. This is like an entirely different nucleus of issues that I did not expect to have on this team. And that is where it gets very, very concerning. Now, does it even out and maybe these guys start picking it up? Who knows? but we are still seeing the same stale crap, the same stale message, the same issues, the pulling hair process of trying to score runs. And it's tiring. It just feels like you're just right now continuing on from last year, and it's deteriorating over time as it continues to become more relevant and more in the scenic eye, which again, as we all know, with the Mets in the media sense, if they fuck up, it'll be amplified. But it is well deserved to say that, well, something is really wrong with this team right now. I can't really put my finger on it to say what it is, because it's plenty of things. And when you can't really point that out, when you can't really point out what the issue is, when there's a different issue every single night, every single game, it usually signifies that maybe this could be a bad team. Maybe the team is just not good. And it's hard to make that sweeping declaration when you're in April. Again, who knows? Maybe they just need Juan Soto back. But I am not holding on and clutching to pearls, hoping that that is the case. Because we knew coming into this year, they wanted a deeper lineup. They wanted guys who can either grind out ABs, take quality ABs, do the little things correctly. And we all know that with the overhaul of this roster, that if they started off as slow as they are, someone was going to take accountability for it. Who will that be? I have absolutely no idea. Could it be some players that are moved out of here? I don't know. Could it be some, other changes that they can make in overall personnel? I don't know. But it does seem like right now that the Mets are just waiting for this team to gel while the fans get even more impatient, more frustrated, and more pissed off to every right that they should be. Because every single thing that I expected this team to do better than the 2025 season, they aren't doing. Could that partly be because of who they're missing? Because they're not at full strength? Maybe. But I'm not going to use that as a crutch. I really am not, because they're playing like complete shit on almost every single aspect of the game as of right now. Constant mental mistakes, constant shooting themselves in the foot. The overall ABs have been sluggish. They've been inconsistent. One thing they are doing so much, pounding the ball into the ground. Every plate appearance. Everything gets pounded into the ground. It's at such a ungodly rate right now that you hope that it evens out. You hope in April. But it's so sluggish to get to that process that right now we're at this point where we want to see results, or it's a I hate you or I love you situation. And that's not a good situation to be in when you're in April. Really isn't. I can guarantee you that. And that's what makes it very, very concerning. Because yes, the Mets have had slow starts before. and they've also had strong starts before. 1 month or a few weeks does not define a team. We know that. But there's so many issues right now that I don't think that Juan Soto can just snap his fingers and fix. And we will get into plenty of we'll get into plenty of those things. But at the moment, it's concerning. Some of you guys in the chat right now are saying that you guys can't see the stream right now. Is it like glitching or something? I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me see if it's coming through here. Huh. That is so weird. Huh. Wow. Okay. Guys, let me know if you guys can hear us. Let us know. I don't know what's going on. I know it's coming through on Twitter right now. We'll try to figure this out, guys. But yeah, I'm not sure why it's not coming through YouTube. Let us know if you guys can see us. I have no idea what is going on here. But 11 losses in a row for this team. Not ideal whatsoever. And it's getting very frustrating to watch. Audio sounds clear. You guys hear us? Let me make sure everything's coming through. Guys, let us know if you can hear us. Okay, I think it's coming through now. Yeah, I was seeing a little bit of a glitch there. So guys, if you have not already, just make sure to tell people if you do hear us to just refresh your stream. Yeah, for some reason it was not coming through. Yeah. Okay, cool. Pretty much just gives you a full-on rundown of how it is. You know, YouTube wants to glitch out right now. But we'll see. Either way, some of you guys here in the chat, we've got Matt, we've got Ibby. What's going on, Ibby? From Till Mets Do Us Part. Tony is in the chat. Will White is in the chat. We've got Hornet. We've got Blast Radius. Brad is in the chat as well. We've got Radiant as well in the vertical version of our stream as of right now. Guys, Andrew is going to be here a little bit late. So like I just said already. So for now, I'm just going to yap a little bit, going to vent. Because it's not fun. And it's really hard to know where to start at this current moment because I think that they are handling things so ass backwards right now to where I do believe they can turn this around. I do. I do believe they can turn this around. I do believe that they have the team to do so. I think they have the star power to do it. I think they have the youth to do it. But you still need to have it executed, whether it is leadership, whether it is overall personnel. I don't know if they have that. And that's what makes me not confident into what I am seeing right now. Not just the losses, but the overall process and the thought process just feels so ass backwards. And we're going to get into that in plenty of examples as to why. But we've got Danny in the chat saying, since I finally got to get in the show, yep, you're good. Yeah, I don't know what the hell just happened there, guys. I don't know why it just glitched out there. Brad saying the fact that people think that this is a bad team is crazy. They have the players in pitching with more coming up. Again, I do think it looks like a bad team right now. Obviously, they're playing bad baseball. And I think that there's plenty of other aspects to that, whether it is from overall leadership or the overall execution on the field. I think that that is something that holds this team back at this current moment, or the fact that they just have not found an identity yet. But when you're not finding an identity yet, and you're struggling to do so while also losing 11 games in a row, I'm running out of answers at this point. I'm running out of ways to describe what's going on with this team. And that's not me throwing in the towel and saying it's done. But it's very, very concerning to know going forward that it's not even just the fact of the process, but it's really, really concerning going forward that when you take Juan Soto out of this lineup, it doesn't seem like anybody, and I mean anybody, is going to step up right now. And that is very, very, very concerning. And that's what really, really frightens me about what's going to happen going forward. Because as transcendent of a player Juan Soto is, he's not going to fix that. He's not going to fix, the stupid things that this team does constantly. The incompetent things that this team does constantly. And that's why I think that there's such a frustration as to we all know they can be better than this. We all know they can be better than this. And when you see things spiral the way that they are, and you see guys constantly simultaneously play like shit, it goes to a certain point where you really start to ask, what is going on with the leadership of this team? Is there going to be anybody to rally this team together and have them play for each other? Is there going to be somebody like that before it is too late? Because say what you want about that 2024 team, and what's done is done. They weren't losing 11 games in a row. They weren't this awful while they were playing like shit. And again, things will even out. But the way that they are handling things in April right now gives me a very, very big concern as to what is going on with the key players on this team, with guys that you need in this lineup to perform. And a lot of it has to do with the health of them. And we've already talked about this before. One of them went to the IL finally. Probably like 30 days later than he should have. I've already talked about it. Lindor. I don't think he's been the same since that collision at the plate that he had against the Pirates at the beginning of the season. I feel like something happened there because you rarely see him make those mental mistakes the way that he is. Juan Soto's obviously been hurt. They put him on the IL. Bo Bichette even. There's been reports about how it doesn't look like he's 100%. Then you also have the underperformance of everybody else, or lack of performance. Brett Beatty sucks. Mark Vientos sucks. Marcus Semien, even though he had a good series in Chicago, has for the most part, offensively, sucked. You have a few black holes in this rotation that you don't know what the hell they're going to give you. And even though there are alternatives, and, guys who can step in, like young guys that you want to see, take a look at. It's really puzzling to see veterans like this falter the way that they are. We've seen struggles. We've seen slumps. But this is collectively uninspiring baseball. It's horrible baseball. And it doesn't feel like there's any end in sight at this point, because they're showing almost no promise that they will be put in a position to win, even with Juan Soto back into this lineup, which it looks like he's coming back for the next game. And that will be the huge proving point as to where we go forward. And it's crazy how we have to talk about proving points on April 20th. That really, really sucks, doesn't it? But I don't even know what else to do. Because when you lose 11 games in a row, play losing baseball for a majority of those games, I think they played like one semi-competitive game in this losing streak, in this stretch. This is just bad. It's bad baseball. It's unwatchable baseball. It's torturous baseball. The type of suck that makes you competitive with teams that are expected to suck, that are expected with a low payroll or too young of a team that makes young mistakes. That's how bad it is. But when you see it as a collective unit, it's hard to go after so many players individually right now, especially with, again, them trying to gel things together as a team. But right now, I'm out of answers. I'm out of answers at this point. What exactly does this team need to do to get in the position we know that they are capable of? And I know people will tell me this roster stinks and this team is awful, but I see this team as a lot better than they are. You do need to make some tweaks to it, obviously. There's no complete guarantees on this roster right now, but they shouldn't be treading water this bad. They shouldn't be treading water this bad. And when we talk about the overall play, yes, it goes on the players. Absolutely goes on the players. But when you see constant, uninspiring play, players that are unfocused, seem unprepared every single game, who does that lie on? It's hard to fault the coaches because they're brand new. The players, sure, they got to perform, but they're brand new. What have we seen in the common denominator here? We all know what I'm talking about. It's Carlos Mendoza. I asked you guys in the chat here, how long are you giving Carlos Mendoza? I said, no more time. You fire him through April and or May, through the All-Star break, to the All-Star break, or through July and or August. And I'm not going to talk about the identity of this team when they don't have one. And we have absolutely no idea what this team is. Like, again, we can make sweeping declarations like this, like Rosie's saying. You're out of answers because the roster isn't very good. It's time for this front office to be more involved day to day. Although I don't have a lot of confidence in them either. Which, again, you can give them flack, obviously. And someone is going to be held accountable if Carlos Mendoza goes, and it still is pretty much the same environment. I have confidence that this team would be able to pick it up. I do. Because, again, I don't have their MO, but I know the MO of a lot of these players during their careers, of what they're capable of doing. That's where the back of the baseball card goes into play, of where Carlos Mendoza is saying it, but he is saying it at the wrong time. And we're going to get into some stuff that Carlos Mendoza said after yesterday's game, which is so alarming and such awful process that is pretty much becoming the straw that broke the camel's back. It's getting bad, folks. It's getting very, very bad. And I have some optimism that they can turn this around. However, right now, as Andrew is joining us, like I said, guys, he's going to be in here a little bit later, but we're just yapping at this current moment. This team has gotten to a point where it's either they do figure it out or a major change needs to be made. And if that major change isn't made, we're going to have some even more deep conversations about what is going on here. Because like I was saying already, Andrew, I'll clue you in, like I was saying last episode, the way that they're handling so many of these situations, the way that they're handling, whether it is the roster transactions, the health and wellness of these players, the overall outlook of the lineup, the overall outlook of the playing time of some of these players, all of it just seems so tone deaf, delusional, and oblivious. It's all yours.
Oh, I guess I'm lagging a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I mean, the fact that, just like, sorry about that, but I was acting like the New York Mets offense and not deciding to show up until about halfway through, even though they don't even do that to an extent. But yeah, it's nice role play, but besides the point, it is, everyone is to blame. And I think that's the worst part, is it's not like, well, we know there's one sore thumb. Change the players, change the whole coaching staff, the GM obviously made all these decisions. There was still one thing still looming around. And you can change everything, but it's almost like you have, like you always say about like, oh, the Wilpon funk, that there's still obviously some players hanging around there. But like, that extend to the last couple of years, there's still one piece, major piece, left. And that being the manager. And some of these quotes that we're getting post-game of it, like, it's almost like Jazz Chisholm level of stupidity.
Yeah, I'll get into that.
We're all on the, this guy has to go. But the just simple managerial decisions he can't even do right. Where you want to play the numbers, you need a strikeout in this situation. Love or die, the guy who's on the mound. You need a strike 30%. Am I lagging? Am I good?
You're spiking in and out. I still understand you, but you just froze there for a few seconds. Yeah.
I'll reset it here in a second once I should shift it back to you. But it's just the simple decisions that he can't make. Like, it's not even like, oh, he's a bad manager, but he makes the simple. He can't even do the simple things right. That's the problem. And the fact that David Stearns opened his mouth and said before, oh, he's doing a great job. But also, great New York media, I wanted to say, what does he do well? This big old scary New York media.
Yeah.
The fact that like Stearns can say the quote, and obviously he's going to defend it because this was Stearns' guy. Like this was his first hire. This is on him, and everyone. And we've seen some pundits that like, well, he fires him. Now it's all full blame goes to Mr. David Stearns.
Yeah.
So he's using him as a shield. But like Matt said, like on these streams we're doing every night or every game night, like you just keep digging yourself out of this hole. If you do it now, you have longer terms to get out of it. The longer and longer you keep this guy and you keep making this deeper and deeper, you're not gonna. By the time we're almost in May, it is April. It's 420. Low, have fun. Everyone's gonna curl one up. But like we're almost in May, so like we're gonna get to what May. We're still having these conversations to this dude. This lame duck manager staying here, but yet. It's okay, right? It's fine. They're still early, and again, I've tried. I'm probably the more. It's crazy that I'm the positive one of the five of us at this point. Where again, because I guess I'm more like I care and love just as much as you, but I also like there's that kind of like a step back in a moment. But like you're sitting here, we're gonna be gone in May, season's over, but yet we're gonna still have the belief of like this manager's got it. But we all knew it. We all know what's going on. Just rip the Band-Aid off and be done. And Stearns will get his blame, and I'll let you cue back in. I'm going to try to get this fully fixed. But, like, Stearns is going to need to start taking some heat here. And, we can make the discussion. And I'm not, and my frustrations with Stearns does not have to involve with the animals. There are things that Stearns has built for the rest of the roster that I do have some complaining and some questions that he's made. So, the casuals can yell at those three animals that left. I'm not even counting them. That there are still holes in this roster. Even with the replacements, you can make that argument. There are still other things on this roster we're looking at, and like David, like I troll a lot. We're like, oh, David, like you left this roster, and this has been kind of the thing the first couple of years. All these years here is like, well, let's play. Want to open roster spots for the bullpen, or I want to leave. Like, you can do that if the rest of the roster is built properly. And again, you want to still play the early game, which again, it's again not great signs, but again,
and that's why I am playing the early game as of right now, because again, it's a very, very long season. I don't think that they're going to hit at this horrible level this entire time. I mean, you'd hope so, right? But at this current moment, it's come to a point where what is pretty much the same that you're seeing, and it's basically either the overall process that you're seeing on the field, or right now where you're in a certain situation where, again, it's different players, it's different coaches, and you have the same manager. When it came to me going into this season, I said, okay, I was expecting Carlos Mendoza to come back either way, because I did think that team was poorly coached. But when people were constantly saying, oh, well, why is Mendoza coming back? Why is Mendoza coming back? Why is Mendoza coming back? And I kept on saying, well, he is in the last year of his contract. He's David Stearns' hire. They're obviously going to, ride high on, the type of success that he had in the first year. But we also all had that thought in the back of our mind that it's like, okay, how much of this success is his success? And that's where I think it got very, very concerning, to where we're like, okay, in the most Carlos Mendoza-like led teams, where he was the main guy in that clubhouse, where exactly did he lead? We already talked about it. The first 2 months of 2024. They were a disaster. Then you had voices in that locker room emerge, come from the minors. You had JD Martinez come in here, be a very good leader for young players. You had Jose Iglesias. And they were right to let them go the next year because it was a lightning in the bottle situation. You get to the next year, you add in Juan Soto. The team gets even worse. Under the leadership of Carlos Mendoza, the bullpen situation obviously was not fantastic. The pitching staff was not built well. But we also saw the first 2 months, an opposite of 2024. They were playing fantastic. They were playing amazing. And everyone said, oh, no, shut up. But when they start losing, this is when we start to show the true colors of the team. When it's overall bad process, when it's stuff that a professional baseball team shouldn't be doing on a daily basis, this is where it gets concerning. And when it's a completely different team under Carlos Mendoza. Now, I'm not saying that Carlos Mendoza is the full-on problem, but he definitely isn't helping. He's definitely not, again, he's one of the sore thumbs from last year. And I'm not saying that the criticism should stop with Carlos Mendoza. But what comes first? It's going to be Carlos Mendoza. Because we all know that GMs or executives always get a second chance to hire a second guy. Or unless if you run the Rangers, you can hire 4 coaches and nobody will give a shit. But it is at this point Carlos Mendoza, when you see different coaches, different players, and they're the same unprepared team that they look like in 2025 when they couldn't do the little things correctly. And then you're also adding on the offense can't score. They pound the ball into the ground way too much. You have to pull your hair out to score a run at this point. You have to beat out ground balls. Nobody can hit the ball into the outfield. It's so bad right now that what else can you do? You can't fire Stearns right now. How are you going to fire Stearns after he just built this team 20 games in? How is that possible? And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve credit. I know everybody else to take me out of context. I'm not or deserves criticism. But the next one to go is Carlos Mendoza. Because it's very, very obvious that they do not respond to him well. And whatever message he is sending, it's either stale or it's just repetitive or uninspiring. Or do we go even deeper and say, hey, we have players that are okay with losing? Because again, you can call out that answer. You can call that possibility as well, which again, I don't think he's going to completely throw his guy under the bus at all to the public media, because we all know how they'll carry it out. But they asked Francisco Lindor yesterday. They said, "Oh, Mendy's our guy. It's on us." Which again, it is. But who exactly is sending the message? It's the manager. You have to be a leader in that clubhouse. Again, managerial jobs are so different than what they were 30 years ago, or 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. But I know for a fact, I can tell that with how much they get away with all this crap and how much they're not held accountable for playing like shit constantly, nobody respects the manager. They can like him all they want. They can say he's our guy all they want, but they have no respect for him. No one's listening to him. No one's taking anything into account. Everyone is taking the message that you're beautiful, you're perfect, trust the process, keep going. Well, we're keeping going, and what are we going to do as we continue to keep going? Keep losing. How do I know that? You just lost 11 games in a row. And I would love to say that Juan Soto is going to fix all of this. Juan Soto is going to be the savior of this team. He's the missing piece. But that says a lot more about this team than what Juan Soto means to this team. They need Juan Soto. They need him. They 100% need him. But like I said, I mean, a lot of the problems with them trying to score, a lot of ground balls. Juan Soto hits a decent amount of ground balls too.
Yeah.
So like, how's that going to help? How's that going to change what's going on? How? And the way that they're just so stupid in the matter. David Stern saying, "Oh, I think Mendy's doing a fantastic job." Doing what? What exactly? No, instead we got the New York media, who again has also been on a fantastic tirade as well. Oh, there's no way they hire him. They fire him. There's no way they get rid of him. There's no way they get rid of him because you know they're too early in the season. No, we've had over 350 games managed by this guy, and it's the same product, the same unprepared team. Oh, wait, the first 2 months last year we were good. What do you mean? They just completely collapsed. Well, first of all, manager, a team collapse, that goes on him. Second, did anybody watch how they played baseball for the first 2 months last year? The amount of mental mistakes they would make, how awful they were with runners in scoring position, how terrible the ABs were. No, nobody paid attention to that. It was just, oh, well, we had a good win-loss record. Who gives a shit? And what happened? You missed the playoffs. You completely collapsed. Why? Because that team did not play winning baseball. They were winning games, but they weren't playing winning baseball. So now you get to now. Is there anything different with a new personnel? No, nothing. It's the same thing. They didn't pay it to exactly the constant scoreboard watching. The constant illusion that, oh, this team was 21 games over 500, never change. You were fine. That's the mentality here. And it shouldn't be. And it doesn't seem like it's going to change because it's over and over and over again. The over and over and over again, well, it's not on Carlos Mendoza. He doesn't have good enough players. You know, his team, he doesn't have enough weapons. Well, he had good enough players last year, apparently, media, right? Because we got rid of fantastic players that we're going to regret getting rid of. So why didn't we do it with them? Ibby in the chat saying 391 winning percentage since June last year. Pathetic. And that's overlapping a new team and an old team. New team and old coaches. And new coaches. So what is next? What exactly is next? It's the manager.
It's, again, and my thing is like, okay, well, I guess we can break down everything to a little bit of a fundamental standpoint. I mean, we're looking at the coaching staff around Mendoza. Clean house, the IG thought, Hefner, now, of course, Hefner goes and makes the Braves bullpen the best in baseball, I think it was. I think they're still first in the ERA.
Which is again, what our team was doing, too, under him in the first few months.
Exactly.
It's the same shit.
Yeah. And I guess, because again, the pitching's been fine. That's what the fear, the pitching has been fine. Minus the two guys that we know. And they're 4 and 5 starters. We know we've had the top 3 has been good to great. The offense and the constant hitting of ground balls for a guy that we brought in Jeff Albers, whose main thing was pulling fly balls, and we have every single hitter hitting ground balls. Like how and then we're hearing again, and let's correlate this back to the pitching staff and David Peterson being like, oh, there's the communication. I think it was the last start where he had that. We came out with that article. I forgot who it was. Was it Salmon or what's the one of the guys put up being like, well, the pitch. What the hell's the pitching coach's name? Not
Justin Willard.
Willard being like, oh, they wants me to throw more sinkers, and I want to throw more fastballs, and there's no communication, and it's just, and I get it. Like, you do need, when you're bringing in a whole new team, again, I understand everything needs to gel. We're not just going to be best friends right away and everything's going to work. I understand that. But the fact that the offensive side, the approach that we thought was from the same in St. Louis and Houston, is pulling fly balls in the air, and this team has got, like a 98% ground ball rate? Like, how does that correlate? Like, then the pitching side, again, the pitching has been fine. Again, you have your stupid Mendoza decisions have been the problem, and Luke Weaver, as any reliever does, had a few blow-up innings. Huascar Brazaban hasn't allowed his own run, but he's letting some inherited runners in, which I find funny. Again, Brooks Raley but they're bullpen guys. You expect one or two blow-ups, that's going to happen. But overall, starting-wise, you're getting out of your big three has been great. You've got two hellholes. But it's not helping the fact that, and we all know what this is going to happen. We're going to start hitting, and then the pitching is going to go to shit. And then the pitching will become a great, and then we'll go offense and go back in the shitter. There's no inconsistency, and even, you have to fire the manager. But then we play this game, and we talked about this, the last time I was on. Kai Correa...
That's the thing. That's the thing. Even Kai Correa said this is madness that he shouldn't lose his job. What is going on here?
Jesus,
he's saying that's all. It's all oddly familiar to me. Bench coach said this is it makes this group equally as adept to be able to do that too. And he's talking about the cohesion in the clubhouse here. It's he's I haven't lost belief, stick with those processes and the tide will change. It's okay, well, if that's your message, then cross him off the list as well to replace Carlos Mendoza. It just seems like this team is so okay with the fact that it's April. No, it's not April. It's April right now, plus all the way back to last year in June.
Again, it's... And, you look at the options. Andy Green... If we're taking Kai Correa off the board, yes. Beltran... I don't want
to get into that. I don't want to get into who replaces him. It's just it's just the fact it's they don't respond well. It's not that they don't respond. They respond in such a, they respond in such a lackadaisical way to this guy.
You just can't make it up at this point. And I always make the joke oh, you have to enjoy the base. It's pathetic. You watch and we all knew yesterday. And I think here's the thing that pisses me off: the fact that most of these games -2 yesterday, the first game of this Cubs series and the second game of the Dodger series, they've been in every game. It's not been blowouts. It has been one or two. You get a base hit here. And I think, and in this sad, weird, reality, how much you want to bet that they're believing is, hey, we're not getting the hits now, but look, we're in those situations. Those hits are going to come later. That's what they're thinking, because they're going to believe that we haven't been blown out. We only been blown out game 1 of this Cubs series, and then game 3 of the Dodger series, where Devin Williams came in after hasn't pitched in 3 calendar years, and they tacked on
another malpractice by our manager. But
I don't.
All right, so let's get into running down this entire series, and more or so I want to talk a little bit more about Carlos Mendoza and to some of his post-game comments yesterday. But first of all, let's get into what happened in these games. Game 20-22 out of 162, Mets versus Cubs. Roll the tape. Starting off a 3-game set of afternoon games in the north side of Chicago, Kodai Senga would get the start in Game 1, and it was just as horrible as the last. With 1 run already home in the first inning, runners at the corners, 2 out, Moises Ballesteros would drive 1 to the opposite field, taken by the Chicago win for a 3-run homer, giving the Cubs a 4-0 lead after 1. However, the Mets offense would fight back in the second. Marcus Semien would get the Mets on the board with an RBI double to the left center field gap to plate Francisco Alvarez. Second and third, 1 out, Tyrone Taylor would drive in a pair with a 2-run single to center, to which he would be thrown out by Pete Crow Armstrong at second base after oversliding the bag. However, the Cubs would respond in the second against Senga. Runner at first, 1 out, the red-hot Nico Horner would demolish 1 to the left field gate, extending the Cubs' lead to 6-3. Senga would pitch into the fourth and exit following a 1-out infield single. Huascar Brazaban would come on and face some hard luck on 2 infield singles, one that would chop high off the ground off the bat of Nico Horner and into Bo Bichette's glove at third with no play, followed by a ground ball that would deflect off of Brett Beatty and to Marcus Semien, who would attempt to get the out at second but fail to do so. And with the bases loaded, 2 out, Senga's base runner would come around to score on a fielding error by Brett Beatty at first base. Senga would end his day with 3 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts on 65 pitches. Shamanaya would wear the rest of this game to save the bullpen, tossing 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts on 72 pitches. The Mets would score one more time in this game in the 8th inning. Second and third, no one out. Francisco Alvarez would plate Francisco Lindor on an RBI single. They would threaten after having the bases loaded, but Mark Vientos would ground into an ending double play. And despite matching the Cubs' hit total, the Mets would suffer a blowout loss in Game 1 for their 9th loss in a row in the series opener, 12-4. In the middle game contest, the Mets would grab the early lead in the 2nd inning. Mark Vientos would break out of an 0-for-22 stretch with a solo home run to the far left field Wrigley bleachers, his 2nd of the year, giving the Mets a 1-0 lead. Freddie Peralta would make his 5th start as a Met and give that run right back in the bottom of the inning. Ian Happ would blast his 2nd home run of the series to tie the game at 1 apiece. Peralta would pitch into the 6th and get 2 outs, but surrender back-to-back base runners on back-to-back walks, as the Mets would call on Brooks Raley to finish the inning, and on his first pitch, pinch hitter Carson Kelly would launch a 3-run homer up the left field alley to give the Cubs a 4-1 lead. That would close the book on Peralta. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts on 93 pitches. Raley would come back out for the 7th and get 1 more out, as Luke Weaver would finish the frame on 9 pitches. The Mets offense would get a bit closer in the 8th against Ben Brown. Runners at the corners, 2 out. Francisco Alvarez would ground 1 sharply to the right side. Second baseman Nico Horner would throw wide left, forcing Michael Busch off the bag. Bo Bichette would score after further review from Secaucus. Bottom 8, Craig Kimbrell would make his 3rd appearance as a Met and toss a scoreless inning, working around a hit and a walk. The Mets bats would go quietly in the 9th against Caleb Thielbar, as the Orange and Blue would drop the series in Chicago and extend their losing streak to double digits in Game 2, 4-2. And in the series finale, Tobias Myers would open the game in place of David Peterson, and he would do his job, tossing 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs. The Mets would open the scoring in the 5th inning as the scorching hot MJ Melendez would slug his first home run of the year to right center, a solo shot to make it 1-0 New York. David Peterson would come out of the bullpen in long relief and pitch the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and into the 6th as his most effective version of himself this season. Following a 1-out single and stolen base by Nico Horner, Peterson would exit with 2 outs in the frame for Huascar Braziban. Braziban would walk the first 2 batters to load the bases, but strike out Seiya Suzuki to end the inning and close the book on Peterson. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, no walks, 1 strikeout on 47 pitches. Brooks Raley would get the 7th and face the minimum 3 batters after a leadoff single that would advance to 2nd on a wild pitch. Luke Weaver would come in and get the final out of the inning, getting Dansby Swanson to fly out. He'd also come right back out for the 8th and toss a 1-2-3 inning on 3 ground balls. With the Mets still ahead 1-0 in this game, Devin Williams would come on for a save situation, and after a leadoff hit and a strikeout for the first out of the inning, the Cubs would call on pinch hitter and former Met Michael Conforto, who would tie the game with an RBI double into the right field corner, scoring pinch runner Scott Kingery, as Devin Williams would register his first blown save of the season, but he would buckle down to send this game to extras. The Mets offense would continue its recent futility, failing to plate the ghost runner in the 10th. Craig Kimbrell would come on for the 10th in back-to-back days, as a wild pitch would send the ghost runner Pete Crow Armstrong to 3rd, and after a strikeout for the first out of the inning, Nico Horner would fly 1 to right field, PCA would tag and score on a sacrifice fly, walking this game off and completing the sweep of the Mets in extras 2-1. The Mets are now 7-15 on the year. They have now lost 11 games in a row following their 4th consecutive series loss, as they fly home for a 9-game homestand at Citi Field starting tomorrow with Minnesota at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so there is your full rundown of those 3 games. In one word to put it, pathetic. Just full-on pathetic, and we'll get into what was even more pathetic after that game, obviously. But Andrew, I'll go to you first. I mean, just finding so many different ways to lose a baseball game that you can't even keep track of. I mean, it just seems like every single thing is going wrong right now, and it seems like there is no end in sight. Whether you have two key guys playing tomorrow for this team, one on the mound and obviously one in left field, but at this current moment, it feels like nothing will go right. And even if something does go right, it always just goes right. It just always goes wrong the next second. Because right now, it just seems like right now they can't hit for their lives. They can't get what they can't get what they need in certain situations as of right now. A lot of that has to do on the players, of course. But it just has become to a point where nothing is going right. Not a single thing is going right now for this team. And before I send it over to you, Pure Adrenaline Sports, shout out to you. By the way, this is a fellow watch-along channel who I know that does a lot of baseball, hockey watch-alongs. I think he's doing some of the hockey playoffs. So shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. If you're a fellow Mets fan, like we've said, so make sure to follow our fellow channels as well. It's like he's in the chat right now. But Andrew, I'll swing it over to you. I mean, it's gotten to a point where in 2026, Michael Conforto ties the game.
I mean, we all saw it. Do we not? I mean, if there was a soul in this chat
sounds about right.
I thought he was just going to hit the two-run homer. Like, I thought he was going to pull my, full World Series bat flip and everything. I thought at minimum he was going to tie it, but you got to have that feel he was just going to hit a two-run homer. But it makes sense. And then going to Craig Kimbrell back-to-back days because again you got nobody else. Because again, back to the bullpen building. Thanks David. Got to keep the open spots, right? But again, we'll get to that. But yeah, overall, I mean, and it seems like even in game 2 when Senga came game 1. When Senga goes to the 4 runs, the Mets come back and score 3. You're like, okay, finally, maybe this team's got something, and then just goes back being feeble. Like it's the same thing from last year, where it's like, oh, they'll score. They could score 6 runs in an inning, and that's it. And it's the same thing anyway. They scored 3 runs, and then they get some BS, ground ball that the guy comes off the bag for Alvarez to score the other run. Like, this is what we got to do. We're pulling teeth to score runs. Can't elevate a baseball to save your life. And again, he gets creative going into this series. Mendoza changes up the lineup, which, okay, cool. That we're grasping at straws for something. And of course, it doesn't work because it doesn't matter how much you could shape this lineup up. You still have a 3 to 4 batters of black holeness offensively when you're getting nothing out of your third baseman, technically, and Bo. Nothing. Wherever Viento's a first base, you're getting nothing. Luis Torrens, who, again, he's a defensive first catcher. He's not going to give you that great offense. Alvarez, we'll see, which, again, bring up a third. Again, why is there a third catcher here? Why not? Why continue to waste roster spots for uselessness? I don't know. David, man, you love just having nothing. And then, obviously, you look at, Benjes. He had a few hits, and he's putting up decent ABs, but again, you're not getting any offense out of him. Obviously, you get nothing out of Beatty. So you can change the lineup everywhere. You could change the structure of the lineup. Your Semyon at least had a double in this series, which was like, of course, he looks, had a decent little series, but it doesn't really matter. There's too many offensive black holes. And when you have that many black holes and you don't have your best, the guy you're paying $43 million that you brought in to supplement as, to replace some of the offense you lost, he's doing nothing besides hitting ground balls. And Jorge Polanco, in that mismanagement, we'll get to in a second, of just continuing to play with at least one guy short. Now at points it was 2 guys short because now we have a third catcher we're never going to use. What was the point of that roster decision to say, you know what, we've got infielders playing in outfield. We need another outfielder at least to play outfield. Let's call up Hayden Senyer. Or, I'm not saying call up Nick Morabito because he was the only other 40-man roster guy. But you couldn't call up a Christian Pache just to kill. And this is the thing that kills me. You have technically have 3 outfielders on the roster right now. You got Tyrone Taylor, Luis Robert, and MJ Melendez is an outfielder. Yeah. Why is he the guy in the DH position and Brett Beatty's in right field? What are we doing? Play the outfielders in the outfield. Play the infielders on the infield. But again, this is what this clown show of an organization has done is, we preach run prevention, but then we're going to continue to put guys out of position. And this is happening. And then we want to improve the offense. And this was the thing I had, I did have some problems with it. It's like, okay, we're improving the run prevention. Where are we going to get the run production from? And it's early. And again, Bo Bichette can't be this fucking bad. He has the track record of being at least he will get his head out of his ass and start hitting. Jorge Polanco who knows how long he was playing hurt. Again, he's not this bad.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They're managing that so improperly. Like we said, like there was a report from Pat Ragazza that we talked about last time where they think that Bo Bichette's not even healthy because he had that PCL strain last year. And they don't think that he is healthy. Oh, who cares? Whatever. Jorge Polanco, who we're going to get into, should have been on the IL first week of this fucking season. So now you've basically lost even more time where he's going to miss it. And not to mention, he has another injury that he is dealing with, which we'll get into in a second. I want to talk about Carlos Mendoza for a second. And like we said, his comments after the Cubs game. Mm-hmm. He was asked why he was not intentionally walking Nico Horner, their leadoff hitter, who is one of the hottest hitters in baseball at this current moment, because there was a runner at third, one out in that current situation. He obviously gets the sac fly, and PCA scored. They walked us off. Here is Carlos Mendoza on his justification as to why they did not intentionally walk Nico Horner there in the bottom of the 10th. So here it is, guys. Here is the clip.
What was the thought process there in the 10th? Did you consider walking Horner to set up the double play?
No, in that situation, especially with Horner, you put him at first base, they're going to take second base there. So, there's a contact situation there, but, then they got some of their best hitters coming up after that too. So, no, I was just going right after him.
Carlos. There was one out. If you walk Horner, you have a double play situation. The guy behind the plate in Luis Torrens can hold off runners better than anybody in this game. Now, maybe some of you guys will tell me, hey, well, Craig Kimbrell's a fly ball pitcher, so it's not like he was going to get a ground ball there. So what the hell was he doing in the game then?
No other options.
And before anybody tells me that, like he already said, you're going to get to the better hitters in the lineup, the next guy behind Nico Horner was Michael Busch, who has been struggling all year.
A big strikeout.
Michael Busch.
Yeah.
Michael Busch, this season, has been pounding the ball into the ground at a 56% rate. His sprint speed is 19th percentile. You're telling me that's not a double play candidate?
And the worst part,
he's gonna take second. That run doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
And even the worst part, they pinched it for the DH. So you could have walked Horner, pitched to Busch, you get Busch out, you walked Bregman to load the bases, because again, if we would have, obviously you have to get Busch out in this scenario. After Bregman, they lost their DH spot, and they were out of bench players. I think they had one guy. They had their backup guy. It was Miguel Amaya. They would have had to use their last bench spot because they used, obviously, Conforto. They used Kingery, and they used somebody else during the game. So at the point of you walk Nico Horner, like you said, the run doesn't matter. It's the 10th inning. You could steal second. You could try to steal third because it doesn't matter. You could load the bases. It doesn't matter. And again, it's the simple things that, again, I am not saying I want this guy, but at least when Buck was here, the team knew the fundamentals about the damn game. And again, did we love him? No. But at least he had somewhat of we know the rules and know the situation. Did shit go right? No. But that's the type of shit where we're begging for just any type of let's use our brain and not look stupid for once. But no, let's go to the guy who's been their best hitter and can put the ball in play. And again, the guy puts the ball in play, the game's over. So the guy that strikes out with a big ground ball rate, or one of the hottest hitters on the planet? I don't think, guys, I don't think this is a crazy question. I would take the worst hitter who, again, Kimbrel, as bad as he is, could get a strikeout there. You walk Bregman, bases loaded, and you're facing their third string catcher. That, again, is that a crazy, oh my God, is that like some crazy thing?
Especially when that run that you're putting on base doesn't
matter. You could load the bases and it doesn't matter.
Because either way, you'll need a strikeout and need another out there.
Yeah.
And then you can just walk the next hitter, and set up another force out at any base.
Yeah, and you had 2 open bases. You had great contact guy, high strikeout guy, contact guy. Walk the 2 contact guys, and if you go to, obviously Bush was in the middle of this. But again, it's...
What are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing here? It's like the little proper things, does he know that run doesn't count? Oh, wait, because our offense in the top of the 10th that's beautiful and perfect and has a lot of talent in the locker room. They scored plenty of runs in the top of the 10th, right? Oh, wait, they did.
Oh, wait, exactly.
Yeah, because they're constantly futile. And they can't fucking score. It's the constant delusion that this is okay. Again, I'm not declaring the season over. I'm not declaring this team the worst team of all time, that they're on pace to be like the 1962 Mets. I'm not saying that. But this is extremely concerning. You even had the Cubs broadcast on postgame. Somebody mentioned it in the chat, and I actually pinned it here. Cole Wright on the Cubs postgame after the Mets' 11th straight loss. I think Carlos Mendoza may want to upgrade that LinkedIn page. Former Major League manager, not great at managing late game situations. That's what the update may look like. David Stearns. I think Carlos Mendoza is doing a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
Where? Where exactly? Is he doing a great job? Is he doing a great job tanking for the draft pick? Oh, wait, the draft pick you can't get because you're over the luxury tax?
Oh, they're in the top 5.
What direction exactly are we going in right now? What exact direction are we trying to go in right now? Are we just treading water until Juan Soto comes back? Because guess what? He's coming back tomorrow.
Is that confirmed? Is that true?
It looks like he is going to either play that game or the second game of the series.
Okay.
So what is going to be the excuse for this guy right now? It's either he genuinely believes that Carlos Mendoza is a good leader in that clubhouse and a good in-game manager, or he's using him as a shield for the criticism that he should be getting as well. Mm-hmm. Either way, it's not a good look at all. And this comes from somebody who has backed Stearns a lot. A lot. Mm. And trust me, we're getting to him. Like I said, nothing is off limits. Nothing. When you're this bad. We'll get into him. Don't worry.
Huh. Maybe there'll be multiple
Speaking of
videos.
more incompetence.
Yeah.
Let's get into let's get into Jorge Polanco, who has just been placed on the injured list due to a right wrist contusion, and he was placed on the 10-day IL before Saturday's game against the Cubs. He felt the discomfort after swinging the bat during Tuesday night's game in Los Angeles. He's also been dealing with Achilles bursitis since the first week of the season and has been exclusively DHing after expected to be getting first base reps. There is no current timeline for his return to the lineup, as Hayden Sanger was the corresponding move that called up from AAA, like we already said, which, to be honest, third catcher and with an offense that is star for runs as of right now. To be honest, Sanger probably is the right move. I'm not gonna lie. Did you know that guy has 5 home runs already in AAA?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not joking.
I know.
I'm not joking.
I know you're not joking, but no. Shut up. What are we Luke Ritter static now? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, apparently everybody from Syracuse is doing well. Jared Young, who was supposed to start in Syracuse, was one of our best hitters. MJ Melendez comes up here, and apparently he's the only guy prepared against Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
So, I mean, might as well continue the AAA wave because the guys in the majors seem to have their head up their ass constantly. Speaking of head up your ass, the Mets have dealt with the Jorge Polanco situation so poorly that it is a fucking disgrace to how they have dealt with it. It is the middle of April. How does this make sense? Okay, guys? First week of April. He has an Achilles injury, lower leg injury. An Achilles injury is very serious. It's not an ACL. It's not an MCL. Achilles takes you out for a while. We saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers, right? Even though he's a robot and comes back, what was it? He was able to walk the next day. Tyrese Halliburton, we saw that, right? We saw plenty of Achilles tears, right? It's a serious injury. He's DHing. He looks like crap. He's off balance in the batter's box. He's not hitting well whatsoever. He's exclusively DHing. He's not hitting. He's not producing. So it's not worth it. And obviously it's affecting his performance. Little wrist injury. Oh, no, now you're going to the IL. How is a wrist contusion more concerning than an Achilles injury? And listen, you need your wrist to hit. You do. To swing the bat. You do. It's very important.
Very much.
But the fact that I feel like I wouldn't put anything past them that they're just trying to save face at this current point. They're just like, oh, well, now we'll put him on the IL, but this is because of another separate injury.
And did you see what Mendoza said while they put him on?
What did the genius say?
Well, he said when they announced it, I think it was the first game of the Chicago series. He goes, really, his Achilles was really good. Like he was getting ready. He was feeling really good. And then he swung the bat, and then this Achilles popped up, or like Achilles, and this wrist thing popped up. And it's like, it's like he broke his wrist without looking like he broke his wrist. Huh? This is what this guy says. It's like, the Achilles was fine. I feel he's really good.
I think Carlos Mendoza is doing a great job in that clubhouse.
Like, again, I'll try to text.
Words of David Stearns.
Exactly.
Words of David Stearns.
It's you can't make it up. Like it is.
It looked like his wrist broke, but it didn't break.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's more concerning than an Achilles injury. Mm-hmm. All right. Send in the clowns. Send in the circus. We're back. What in the actual fuck is going on here? What is going on? This doesn't make any sense because I know everybody will say, well, Polanco's not the Cheeto Bear. And he sucks and he's terrible. He's way better than this. Mm-hmm. He's way better of a hitter than this. Is he the 25-year home run bat that he was last year? Probably not, but he's way better than a 54 weighted runs created plus.
Yeah.
He's way better than a sub 600 OPS right now. What is going on here? This is insane. Because again, like I said, I believe that if this team, if they weren't doing stupid shit constantly, showing incompetence, that they would be in a perfect position to be a winning baseball team, to be in contention. But instead, no. We want to have a deep lineup, but no, you know what? That deep lineup is just going to play injured. They're going to maybe play concussed. Who cares, right? Mendoza. It has nothing to do with preparation. We just have to play better. We have a lot of talent. They're beautiful and perfect. Yeah, I ain't seeing it. This is a lie. That's a complete lie. That's another reason why he should be the next guy on the chopping block. What a joke. What a complete joke. So we'll see what happens as it continues. I mean, who's going to be playing first base? One of the Wonder Twins, probably. Brett Beatty or Mark Vientos. Jared Young is out, too, because they also didn't know that he had a torn meniscus, and they said it was knee soreness.
Talkman.
So they had absolutely no idea what was going on there.
Yeah, and that's even the problem. Like, there are no solutions. Like, Clifford, he just hit his first homer the other day. He's not off to a great start.
Yeah.
Like, there's no option. Like, it's too early to make a trade, so you're stuck here. You have to get your only options are internals. So either fire the manager, and there's nothing else. Like, again, like, as much as you don't have the Marcus Simeon's been terrible offensively, whatever. You don't have the little people anymore. So, like, there are no options left. Like, AJ Ewing's not coming up right now. I've already seen. Cole Page. We're just gonna do the same thing we're doing with Bench. Like, call him straight up at Double A. He was hitting Double A. Like, there's nothing you can do right now. So there's no internal improvement that you can make. Unless you want to make a drastic, reactionary decisions, which we know David Stearns is not known to do. There's only one thing you can do, is fire that clown show of a manager and see if that sparks. In every other sport you see, they call it the coach bump. And right now, this team could just use a coach bump to get their heads out of their asses. Like, that's the point. Like, it's something you can't do anything until earliest June, if we're talking trade-wise. There's nobody on the waiver wire right now. There's no Latin pop star. Wait, there is, which I saw some more morons on the internet say, bring him back. Yeah, that'd be great. This is what you got. And this is what Rosty's made, and Stearns is like a pig, and this is the shit he's got to lay in. But right now, the only option is the nuclear button. Is you just need to get rid of him, get rid of Mendoza. If that doesn't change anything, we're already seeing ESPN way too early trade deadline videos, or trade deadline targets, and take a guess who's on top of that list. Clay Holmes and Freddie Peralta. So guess what? We're in 2023 again? If this doesn't turn around very quick, we're going to go down that road again.
Yeah. And this is the thing. You're running out of time to show, again, to get to the, identity day, like we like to call Memorial Day. You're running out of time to that. And to be honest, you're again, you are lined up fairly well to turn this around. You really are. Will they take the opportunity to do so? Because you got Juan Soto coming back in this homestand. You got Noel McLean on the mound tomorrow, who could be a stopper of this 11 game losing streak. He could stop it if the team fucking hit for him. Impossible task, right?
Yeah.
So they better figure it out, or the scrutiny is going to continue on to Carlos Mendoza. Mm-hmm. And if Stearns continues to back this up after publicly quotes like that have continued constantly, that's just one. Then we're going to start to talk about David Stearns too. Because David, as long as you continue to push this out with Carlos Mendoza and keep to ride this out with Carlos Mendoza, as closer as both of you are going to be gone. And to be honest, I think that David Stearns is going to survive this season. I think that that's going to happen. That's going to end up happening. But it's going to be continuous criticism on his part. And I just think as of right now, there's no way out other than firing him. There's no other way.
There's nothing more you can do. Right, again, and not until you get end of May, maybe? Maybe you start the phones to maybe start ringing for potential trades. Like, you're stuck with this. You're stuck with whatever's on your 40-man. Maybe you get a waiver wire ad, but again, with the fact that technically, it's based by record. So, hell, you hope there's a decent couple waiver wire ads, maybe. Because now you're on the top of that claim list. So, we made the joke. I laugh. We made the jokes all offseason about like, when we DFA Vientos, he's going to be our Colorado Rockies. Hell, the Rockies are outplaying us. They just took out 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers.
Yeah.
We're that bad. So, McLean's got to be, and this is, again, we've said or at least I've said it since this losing streak began. You're putting too much pressure on your starting pitchers, that they have to be perfect because this offense can't just lift a baseball over the, I'm not even saying over the fence. They can't even get a sac fly. It's either a ground ball back to the pitcher or a strikeout. And
is that why you think that that Carlos Mendoza didn't think about a possible sac fly to score that runner from third because he's not used to his offense doing it? So he was like, "Oh, what's this?"
And it's like, again, and I'm not in the shot taking mood. Carson might be taking more shots than I am because, again, I'm the friendly guy now. I'm the cuddly rhino all of a sudden of the five of us. But to the sense of fans were, I'm tired of all these strikeouts and homers. The Mets, we need to be more singles hitters. And well, this is what you get. This is what y'all wanted, right? You guys wanted more contact. And yes, did we like the approach? And again, there might be a Stearns video coming out soon. Not for a couple weeks, but I got something cooking in the back where we could like the process of the ideas that he did, but there were better options available. And the fact that the process can be great. We like, change again. We don't want to, we don't want to be the New York Rangers. Let's just keep everybody together. Let's the power of friendship and being that team. No, you had the opportunity, and Stearns, he took the shot, which I give him credit. He took the shot that most GMs wouldn't have. It's 22 games or whatever it's been. It's not looked good. But again, as the chat, the Phillies suck too. It's it's fun. But right now, we can't worry about the Phillies. We can't. I don't give a shit what the Yankees are doing. The Phillies
win
are doing
a game.
Exactly. It needs to be now.
Score more runs than the other team for one game.
Yes.
That's our goal right now. That's what the goal is right now with a near $400 million payroll. Break a damn losing streak. That's how sad it is as of right now. Then we can worry about that.
Exactly.
Get back on track of what is in front of you. That's what you have to look at as of right now. And the way that they're just constantly shooting themselves in the foot, when we all know what the common denominators are here, it's ridiculous. I don't know. I'm so fed up right now. It's more of the fact of how stupid they have been than how bad they have been. That's how it feels. When it's bad process, when it's bad thought process in general, when it's bad approach, bad leadership, that spreads. That'll continue. And I don't know, again, if Juan Soto is just going to come in here and fix all of this, which I don't think he will. I don't. I wish he would. I wish that whole sledgehammer gimmick they're doing right now in the dugout, but they're 0-1 with that, so they're probably going to ditch it. It just doesn't end. It doesn't end.
I mean, do we even need to do studs and duds? Because it's really...
We do.
I mean,
yeah.
There's one stud and 25 duds. Well, I guess 23 duds. There's a couple of guys.
Well, there's a few guys again, and thank you for that. Thank you for that segue. Let's get into studs and duds of this series. Now, one player that was in this series that was really good, we want to give flowers to. One that was not, and we want to tear to shreds right now because I feel like fighting right now because it's awful to watch. But studs in this series, Andrew, I'll swing it over to you. There's probably one obvious one, so go ahead.
Yeah, he's on my cup, so, he follows me now. It's MJ Melendez. I mean, going in from the Dodgers series, continuing to hit, and being the only offense. Again, lifting the baseball. I mean, hell, he's hit a couple balls to left field, but hell, at least he tries to lift the baseball. And look what happens. He's the only one getting good results. I mean, again, hits the homer. Yes, and then, like I've already said, he struck out in a couple. I think in the last game, he had an opportunity to tack on another one. The fact that he needs to be our entire offense is pathetic. He's making league men, and this is who is carrying our offense. Not the guy making $42 million. Not the guy making $34 million. Yeah, $34 million. Not the guys that are making actual money. It's a league min again, and if that's the trend for this team is they need some minor league deal that Stearns signs has to be the rallying cry. That shows more. That shows more of the roster construction. If this has to be, oh my God, MJ's the savior, and if it was, oh my God, now it's MJ. It's these 2 or 3, letter abbreviations are saving the team. That's a problem, and the fact that again he needs to be your only offense in the series where you had the same amount of hits in game 1. We got blown out. But the difference is the Cubs hit 3 homers, and we just said everything was a single.
Yeah, I mean, another guy that I want to put in there because I do think he had a really good series, but it was more of a who cares. I thought Marcus Semien was pretty good at the plate, to be honest. Throughout this series, he was 5 for 12, I think.
Something like that. I think I saw somebody at
5 for 12, around there. He was pretty good. I think that he's actually been swinging a better bat, but again, this is the bottom part of the lineup. Who the hell knows? And, Marcus Semien, he's no Brandon Nimmo, so who cares? On to the dud category. I mean, we have to open up the conversation here, and I think that this is the direction that you're going to go in, Andrew, because this is usually the direction you go in, and it's for good reason. Rosie's saying it right here. Senga can't make his next start, and it doesn't look like he is going to make his next start. He is not scheduled to make his next start. He's remaining in the rotation, so that means that, once again, Andrew, we're coddling him. We're going to let him get ready. We're going to let him get his makeup on, get a nice dress from Walmart, or maybe get a nice little dress from Kmart, or, go out to Chick-fil-A, right? Get his Mountain Dew. Relax.
Do not say those great
Once
things.
Once again,
about Kodai
accommodations for Kodai Senga that he does not deserve. Another fantastic start by him, right, Andrew? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, again, it's almost like, where'd that 99 go, right? Remember, we got I remember everyone on the internet being so excited. Oh, Senga's hitting 99 again. Even I said, I'm like, yeah, this is nice. See how long it lasts. Well, it lasted one start. And he's gone back to being Kodai Senga from last year. And the feeble, the quote he said after the start of being like, well, if I feel good, I'm going to go. I got to find this exact quote, which I mean, while you're doing the dud, when you say you're dud, it's just constant with this guy of there is no dog. And again, I make the jokes, man, like, you need to have some sort of punchback. If, like, okay, you got punched in the face. What are you going to do about it? And every time this dude gets punched in the face, he goes and crawls in a fetal position. Like, there is no, you know what? F you. I'm coming back at you. No, it doesn't trust the stuff. Goes back to nibbling. And again, the velocity, that first start always hit 99. Again, he's back to sitting 94, a couple 95s. And his stuff is, like, it just baffles me that this dude, and again, he's making $15 million. The fact that there's so much dead money on this roster, pre-Stearns and during Stearns, inflating this cap number, and you're getting nothing out of it. Infuriating. But again, which I will give sort of credit to Stearns, this dead money is not on the books long term. Where the fact is, but again, now we're going to sit and waste another year. God knows who we're playing. We all know we're not playing baseball next year. So that doesn't mean the year that cap is going to, be taken off. Because if no baseball is played, I don't think that, that just extends the contract. So we're still going to be sitting here next year with Senga and Minaya, if we don't play baseball, another year on their, technically another year of older, and have to stay on the books. It's just the fact that, again, this dude is treated like he's Tarek Skubal or he's Paul Skeens. And again, just like the manager, we need to, keep these guys comfortable. Fuck that. Start taking jobs. We saw Peterson get uncomfortable, and guess what? Peterson had his best outing of the season. Piggybacking off what's it called? Start challenging these dudes. If they can't handle the challenge, get them the hell out of here. That's the problem. Start making people desperate, because desperate players, you see the best at them. When they're desperate, hanging on, clawing for their lives, that's when you see the best of people. So start making everybody on that roster uncomfortable. Say, hey, I don't give a shit what the number is next to your paycheck. If Christian Scott is ready in a few weeks, his ass is going to be taking some starts over here. I'm not even talking about Jonah Tong, because Jonah Tong is not, for me, an option. I think there's other things you can use for Jonah Tong.
He needs time.
If Tobias Myers stretch Tobias Myers out, and hell, he continues to pitch better than your ass is getting starts over these guys. But because I'm not even touching Sean Manaea. His ass can stay in the bullpen. He wants to start crying again. Maybe when we get to open season, when trade deadline season, potentially, maybe we'll find another bad contract. But again, we'll see if Stearns makes another bad contract or bad contract deal. At least in this scenario, he does not have trade protection, so he could just dump him, pay half, and dump him somewhere because he does not have. I'm pretty sure doesn't have trade protection. But again, there's just the Kodai Senga experience. But he'll be on the mound. Oh, he's not. He's not as of right now. He's not in the rotation. No.
He needs a mental break. Okay, he needs to find his chakra. He's got to go to Starbucks. Get his little herbal tea. this is the quote I think you were talking about. I'm completely healthy. I feel great. Mechanics, sure, there are some minor things here and there, but that happens to everybody. Putting that aside, I need to go out there and perform. Kodai Senga, you suck. You just suck. And I'm not saying this just like as your overall talent. You suck as an overall piece to a team. Like, he is the most impossible guy you ever can put out there on the mound and expect to perform and respect and expect to rely on. He sucks. And it has nothing to do with the fact that he's not good enough. He's not a good pitcher. Every situation revolving around him sucks. And Andrew, you can attest to this. All they do is coddle him. That's it. That's all they do. They just coddle him over and over and over again. And what does he reciprocate back? Nothing. He's the same fucking guy. Oh, he had a great offseason. He's perfect, and you know the velocity's up, and here we go again. Here we go. It's not even May yet, and this is happening again. He's a wuss. He's a massive wuss. I mean, what else is there to say about him? What else can you say about Kodai Senga other than the fact that he is a wuss? You just can't make it up. Every single time, he can't handle shit. He can't even ride something out for 5 innings. We were talking about this during the watch-along with special guest John Saponaro from Till Mets Do Us Part, Ibby's co-host, who is in the chat right now. Shout out to them. Every single thing, when it goes wrong, when he faces adversity, like you just said, he crawls up in the fetal position. He's soft. And we've already talked about it. He is the softest pitcher imaginable in the world. I don't care if we're being too harsh. I don't care if I've never thrown a pitch in the major leagues. There is no way you can have this guy regularly on this roster when he has proven time and time and time again that he is the most unreliable source of production on the entire roster. And that says a lot with how many awful players we have had, with how many awful pitchers we have had. He is the biggest headache on this team. He can come back and pitch a no-hitter. It'll probably be a combined no-hitter because he can never go past 5 innings. He can come back and pitch 2 good games, 4 good games. I don't care. He's never going to be reliable when you need him. Ever. He can have ace stuff. He does not have an ace makeup. Andrew, if there's anything you want to iterate from that, but it's just like, he couldn't even go through 5 innings. In that 4th inning, he gave up an infield single. Not even his fault. Infield single. Soft contact. Nope, he can't handle that. Take him out. And then Sean Manaea, who was more hurt than you last year, had to go out there and wear it for the rest of the game. That's how soft this guy is. And guess what our manager does? It's okay, Senga. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Oh, do you need a little burp? Yep, there you go. There you go. Oh, Bottle feeding? You need a little. You need your formula? Here you go.
Again,
And people wonder why this team is okay with being mediocre, because they're treated like fucking. They're treated like they're fucking invincible.
Yeah. So again,
He is a wuss. He's a wuss. He always has been. He's soft.
and there were reports that came out that teams didn't even offer them the top 30 prospects. Like it was like how we looked at the McNeil return. Shock again.
But look at his ERA, Andrew.
Exactly. But again, what we said last year, we're like, just dump. Like I wasn't even being nice in the video, being like, oh, some back end, maybe a flop prospect. Teams weren't even offering that. That's how little this guy has around the league. So again, at this point, what do you do with him? You make him an expensive reliever? Like you do it again? We're gonna have a second guy in the rotation? Like you really just can't DFA him right now because you kind of need starters. But again, at this point, if he's not getting through 5 innings, what does he do? He's got a good pitch. He's got spooky ghost. Well, his ghost is like his freaking availability. Where's Senga? Oh no, he ghosted everybody. He's gone. So at this point, again, it's just enough. It's $15 million. Eat it and ship him out. Again, send him to Colorado. Like, at this point, just DFA him or move on. You really can't. Like, again, you could DFA him now. Just use him for, again, take him out of the rotation, make him a swing guy like, what's it called? Rhino acting like Scott Hall. Chico. Nice. But, yeah, like, at this point, there's nothing. Your hands are tied. So, right, you need the pitching. You don't have the pitching yet in AAA ready to come up. So you're kind of stuck with him for at least another week or two, maybe 2 times through. You just got, again, similar with David Peterson. You just hope and pray maybe he gets through 5. But like you said, again, it's a struggle. Oh my God, he hit a single off me. Now I'm emotionally damaged. Oh no, I can't do this anymore. It is what it is. But again, hey, it's a trend, except everyone that does, all the Japanese pitchers that don't go to the Dodgers have these problems. You same thing with Tetsuya Imai having problems up in Houston. Obviously, Senga here. Like, maybe they just all need to just go to the Dodgers. Just don't. If you're coming over from Japan, just go to the Dodgers. Because if you don't go there,
run from the grind. Why not?
It's not even just run from the grind. No other Japanese pitchers can succeed. Like, it is. I don't know. It's pathetic at once. But again, you're stuck with them. So have fun. Again, don't guarantee him a rotation spot. Make him earn it. But again, if we're going to have the same manager, it's just going to be, it's okay. Here's your cookie, and go have fun. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, exactly. There's, dinner's in the fridge. Don't worry. Dinner's in the fridge. If you need to stay over, you can. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you at noon. My bad. I'm so done with this bullshit. It's bullshit. Like we've already said, the constant bullshit baggage of this guy coming to fruition once again. I don't trust him. I don't care if he has another good start. I don't care. You can't rely on him. He's unreliable. He is unreliable. Sometimes the talent is not worth it. And when you don't see the talent on the major league mound enough, they're still making accommodations for this guy. Still are. Still doing it.
Don't break your desk. It's okay.
In a major league season, in a major league rotation where all he needed to be was a 4, a 5. That's it. And he still can't handle it. I would have at least went back on it and said, okay, well, make adjustments for the next start. You'll be better. If he was able to just push it through 5 innings. Just push it through 5 innings. He still can't do that. Up 65 pitches of me struggling. I'm done. I can't. Let me go cry in the corner. Like, fuck off. Like, seriously. Another guy that was a dud in this series, which goes undisputed. I can't really put out. I mean, Mark Vientos drew in 1 run with his home run, so he broke his slump. So he'll get half dud. But the other guy, the other wonder twin that he has there at first base as well, he drew a walk. Yay, drew a walk. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in that category, but I'm not going any more deeper into that because we'll be here forever. Anyways, Rapid fire stories. Juan Soto, like we already said, he took live ABs on Friday at Citi Field for the second straight day, and he is set to begin high running intensity drills. He is set to be activated off of the injured list tomorrow versus the Twins, or it could be game 2. I would suspect that he's going to DH in that game, considering that we have no really DH at this current moment. He's been sidelined since April 3rd with a right calf strain on the injured list. Christian Scott made his third start for AAA Syracuse on Wednesday night. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts on 82 pitches. He is in consideration to be called up soon in regards to the starting rotation changes going forward, whether that involves Senga or Peterson. Peterson, who did not make his start and had an opener in Tobias Myers yesterday. Jack Wenninger, another possible option. The Mets' 6th overall prospect via MLB Pipeline. He made his third start as well for AAA Syracuse. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts on 82 pitches. So we'll see what happens on there. Getting a little bit more healthy, AJ Minter continuing his rehab assignment for High A Brooklyn on Thursday. He had a little bit of luck on the infield there. He finished up his inning of work in 18 pitches, got a strikeout, gave up 1 hit, so at least he's feeling good. Like we all know, he's been sidelined. He's been on the injured list since the beginning of April of last year due to torn lat muscle surgery. Dylan Ross, another guy who is on the Mets 40-man roster. He was called up towards the end of the season, did not make his debut just yet. He began his rehab assignment for Low A Port St. Lucie on Thursday. He also experienced a little bit of unearned runs there, but he got a strikeout on 20 pitches. And he is currently, of course, the Mets' 18th overall ranked prospect, B of MLB Pipeline. Kodai Senga, like we already said, in a little bit more of a calmer fashion, he will remain in the Mets' starting rotation, but he will not be lined up to make his next start, which will be against the Twins. Could it be Christian Scott? We have absolutely no idea. And of course, those last 2 starts have just been abysmal. 13 earned runs over 5.2 innings pitched. He has allowed 4 home runs, 6 strikeouts to 5 walks. It's just been a disaster. And then also we got some fun news on the development standpoint. The Mets have unveiled their new development facility in the Dominican Republic. It is a state-of-the-art complex built for 16 to 18-year-old international prospects. It includes a 10,000 square foot weight room, a 17,000 square foot turf agility field, batting cages, classrooms, on housing siting for young players, also etc. Other stuff as well, including like some other like recovery pool stuff. It's actually pretty cool. I've been doing some research on it last night. Yeah, that's awesome. But again, like we said already, Kodai Senga, once again being Kodai Senga, the usual. But yeah, anything you want to add on that, Andrew? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, I'm always going to go to the minor league side. I mean, Christian Scott, good to see. Again, third start. Wettinger has been really damn good up in Syracuse. So, again, you have another wave, but again, you're not going to see it until midseason, or rightly shouldn't have it. So, again, you have the 7 guys on the major league roster that can at least hopefully try to get you through April and maybe the beginning of May before you have to dig into that AAA depth. And again, Minter, probably another. You know, he's went from St. Lucie, now he's up to Brooklyn. He'll probably get a rehab and Binghamton. And then hopefully by May, first week of May, maybe you get Big Boom AJ back in the bullpen, which should be nice. You hope for the deep in the pen. But again, you also have the consideration of, hey, bud, come save us again. Again, we're asking guys to save you, as well as Juan Soto's trying to save the offense. AJ Minter and Dylan Ross, save us in the bullpen. Ryan Lambert as well. Has Lambert started his rehab? He's
not rehabbing. He's just been in AAA. He had a rough first outing, but he's been pretty good since.
Okay, so again, you do have some options, but again, you're just gonna burn them early. These guys, especially some of these guys, are injured. Obviously, Lambert has had some injuries. Obviously, with Christian Scott. I mean, Dylan Ross again coming out of spring training. We're like, where's Dylan Ross? Oh, he's hurt too. So again, you have options down the line, but you just have to suffer. And again, shifting into the Twin Series, you have a homestand that any competently run, good organization can look at this homestand and say, hey, we might suck right now. We have opponents that are on the same level as us. We should be able to beat them.
Yeah, since that first outing that Ryan Lambert had, he has given up just one earned run, and that is across 7 appearances. So he's starting to get into the groove. It looks like his velocity was down because of the cold weather.
Yeah, he was sitting at like 95,
it seemed like he's bringing it up now. So basically, it probably was just the cold environment. So either way, something to look out for. There are, again, guys who could give us a little bit of with fresh air, but we're not expecting them to just completely save us. The guys need to perform, obviously. Now, speaking of what they need to perform in, let's get into this upcoming series against the Twins. So a little bit of a different programming as we kind of expected here. As for Game 1, the Mets rookie phenom Nolan McLean will make his series. Will start the series opener. He'll face 25-year-old left-hander Connor Prilip, who will be making his major league debut in place of Mick Abel, who was placed on the injured list today. First pitch is tomorrow night at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time on SNY. Game 2, Clay Holmes will make his 5th start of the year, off to a very sharp beginning to the season. He will face the former Mets minor leaguer and returning piece in the Marcus Stroman deal back in 2019, 25-year-old right-hander Simeon Woods Richardson. First pitch is Wednesday night at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time on SNY. As for Game 3, like we said, with the Kodai Senga situation, that starter has yet to be announced, as it will replace Kodai Senga's turn in the rotation as he, looks to recover back from breastfeeding. And they will face all-starter right-hander Joe Ryan. First pitch is Thursday night at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time on SNY. Now, this Twins team is actually off to a decent start, right? Not as to what we were expecting. Obviously, it is the AL Central, which is not a very strong division. It usually seems to be a every man for himself division every single year, minus a White Sox team that has been in futility recently. Yeah. But with this this Twins team, obviously, right now, going into it, I believe they are 500, right? They're like 11-11, 10-10, third place, but they're playing better than I think it was expected. I think they were expected to be like the 4th place team in that division, or
behind
probably even worse. I mean, who knows? But overall, they've had some good performers. I'd say Austin Martin is off to a raging hot start with the bat. Let's just say that. Ryan Jeffers is having one hell of a year. Let's just say that.
Notorious Met killers. Josh Bell as well.
Yeah, Josh Bell, Mr. 81, is off to a good start, just so he can get traded at the deadline and suck like he usually does. They also have the rest of this lineup. It's not very deep. Let's just say it's not very deep. Yeah. It's not very deep. Let's just say that. Royce Lewis, I think, is also injured again.
Hurt. Yep.
Yeah. What else is new? They obviously Correa is gone, and
Buxton,
then Buxton. Buxton has not been Buxton. So we'll see what happens there. We already know, with their rotation, Joe Ryan off to an okay start, not the full-on standard, but we all know he's kind of like a 2 in a rotation. Simeon Woods Richardson off to a horrendous start. And then Mick Abel, who is going on the injured list. And then we will get to see the rookie, who is a lefty, so he throws with his left hand, so obviously we're not going to be able to hit that. And, he's going to throw a 2-hit shutout against us. So,
probably.
Whatever. The bullpen. Doesn't have Jarren Duran anymore, does not have Griffin Jax anymore, pretty much cutting costs. I'm pretty sure former Met Anthony Banda has been horrendous.
Former Met Eric Orsi is in that bullpen. Also have the best reliever name ever in Cody Funkenberg in that bullpen, as well as Cody Lawson. Some great names And then you have like guys like Cole Sands, Taylor Rogers has been around the league. Like they have like, again, it's a bad bullpen. I mean, that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you get the surprise in Connor Prelup getting up, who was a big prospect coming in, has dealt with some surgeries, making his major league debut. So, like you said, the Mets are going to give him, great major league debut and probably give him 7 shutty on like 58 pitches.
Yeah.
So
Nobody
we'll
has nobody has insane amount of confidence right now. Obviously, they lost 11 in a row, but this is your opportunity to have the stopper. You got Juan Soto coming back. You got Noel McLean on the mound for Game 1. And the damn win streak. Because if it's not going to happen, then, I mean, I'm out of answers at this point. I really am, because I don't know how the hell it's going to change with that. And I'm not expecting it to change. But this is your chance to do so. So if that's going to happen, it's going to happen right now, and it's going to turn things around, obviously. Players to watch, obviously, in this series. One that I do want to point out here. Obviously, we know that MJ Melendez has a lot. Doesn't he have a really good history against the Twins?
I'm pretty sure he's had some big moments against the Twins. He's had some big homers at the K against them. He owned Yohan Duran when he played in Minnesota. That is something I do.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help.
That doesn't help us. I know, like, he sees that logo.
Unfortunately,
and pretty decent. I don't think it's outrageous numbers, but
yeah. So he's Yeah, so no, he has 5 home runs in his career against the Twins. He has 28 hits. He has 10 RBIs in 46 games against them. So yeah, he's done a decent amount of damage against them, obviously. But nothing completely crazy. But
and he won't be the last tomorrow. He's a lefty.
Yeah, he's not even going to play. So because it is a lefty, because we need to get everybody else in the. You know what? Actually, sit Juan Soto down. To be honest, Tommy Pham out there. Yeah, you probably put Tommy Pham out there. Soto, I would imagine, is DHing tomorrow. I'd imagine.
I would think Taylor in left, or well, no. What do you do with Ben? Yeah, if you're gonna put Pham?
Bench plays right field. Taylor in left. Robert in center.
Okay.
And then you sit down the Wonder Twins.
Hey, they're not doing that. One of them has to play. They have no other first baseman.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And need him out there. He's on a hot streak. Yeah. MJ has good numbers against the Twins. That means Mendoza thinks that he needs to rest this series. True. Or maybe Mendoza will be or maybe Melendez will be the guy who gets sent down for Juan Soto.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Tanking is important. I mean, I'd expect that it's going to be Tommy Pham, but
no, it's going to be the third catcher.
Or it ends up being Sanger.
Yeah,
it ends up being Sanger.
Had to use Sanger. So how many big moments we saw. Hayden Sanger in this past couple games. But
I think that they should bring Mauricio back up. They won't even give him the time of day, so it doesn't even matter. They don't even give a shit about him. So because Beatty and Vientos will get the constant. They will get the constant chances. They will get the leeway of their lifetime, probably until they're done through arbitration and become free agents. And Ronnie Mauricio will just rot away in AAA, where he's actually hitting very well as a right-handed hitter in AAA right now. He's made some really, really good adjustments there. He's showing his power from left side as well. But no, who gives a shit? Because Beatty's pussy got power. That's literally it. That's basically it. Who cares, right? Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Yeah, he can't come back until the 23rd. And does it matter, though? Does it really matter? I mean,
No.
it doesn't even matter because he's not going to play anyway. So, I'm so done. I'm so done with trying to force them to bring up Mauricio and give him everyday playing time, because they won't. So it doesn't matter.
Just
It
leave
really
him down
doesn't
there.
matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Just leave him down there at this point. Leave him down there, and if you're not going to give him the time of day by the trade deadline, trade him.
Yeah.
Trade him. Even though I believe in Ronnie Mauricio way higher than Brett Beatty and way higher than Mark Vientos, they obviously are just like, fuck this. Fuck this. He's not going to play.
Well, I mean, he shops
Not gonna
at
play at
Walmart,
all.
so I mean, you're gonna trust a Walmart?
He shops at Walmart. What a loser. I mean, he doesn't shop at the Crumble Cookie Factory.
Exactly. Guy goes
Exactly.
to Walmart. I mean, who goes to Walmart in the Big 26? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Some news as we get into the final Yap sesh here. The Royals just released Asa Lacy, former number 4 overall
Well, he's always
pick.
hurt. He's always hurt. That's not.
Yeah, he's always been hurt. So yeah, that's he's only like pitched like 80 innings, which is more innings than Matt Allen. So
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it the same draft? I think they were the same draft.
no, Matt Allen was
19.
the year before.
Year before, okay.
Asa Lacy was 2020. That
Asa.
was the PCA
Asa.
draft. The PCA draft, the JT Ginn draft,
Jesus.
the Torkelson draft, right?
Torque, yeah.
The Kerstad draft or whatever it was.
Hashtag.
Some news coming out from the Dodgers that Edwin Diaz is going on the injured list with loose bodies in his right elbow. Again, I just cool. You know, it's one of those things. I'm like, great. Like, I get the Mets fans are seeing this as a minor victory right now because of what he said about the team, but it's like what he is proving right. What he's saying, he's kind of right. He's kind of right. Where's Frank to talk about Craig Kimbrell running like he usually does? He runs from the media all the time. He's a weasel. Just like he's the Chris Drury of Mets Weekly. He runs from the media. He doesn't like to. He does everything behind closed doors. Blast Raider is saying, "Hey Carson, what do you think of the Mets having 3 hitting coaches? Too many?" I don't know if they have. I mean, they have a hitting coach and a hitting assistant, and then they also have a department of hitting as well. Again, I'm not going after the coaches yet because it's been 22 games. I'm not liking what I'm seeing collectively from this group, but for now, it's just uninspiring baseball. And the message that needs to be sent is Carlos Mendoza ending up going. Ronnie is treated poorly. I agree. Listen, I mean, they don't even give him the time of day. They don't. And listen, he has ran. He has ran out a lot of his time, obviously with the ACL injury, of course, but the guy has gotten not even 300 plate appearances in the major leagues. He's been with this organization since 2017. 2017.
Yeah.
Terry Collins was still the manager when he signed with this team.
Gotta love it.
I don't know. Pure adrenaline saying, thanks guys for the laughs and the tough times. I definitely will be back. Awesome. Yeah. Good luck with your watch longs. We do some watch longs as well. It's just, guys, I really, from all aspects of this team, I'm losing it. I really am. It's just like, what the hell are we doing at this current moment? But either way, going forward, like we said, a reminder to tune in tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday for watch-along and post-game coverage of the Mets vs. Twins series hosted by the newest members of Mets Weekly, Evan and Matt. 10 minutes before first pitch, 7 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, barring any delay that is needed for live play-by-play commentary, banter, out-of-pocket jokes, and maybe some special guests along the way. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 minutes before first pitch tomorrow. Hope to see you guys there. But, yes, Evan and Matt from the chat and from Mets Weekly as well. You should have John on again. We would love to have John on here again. We'd love to have his co-host as well. Ibby's been dying to get on one of these streams, so eventually we gotta get that going. There's plenty of guests I have. Sit here watch a game with.
I mean, if Ibby comes on, I mean, I do not think there would be enough. I think there might be. There's already a civil war. There might be an outright screaming match between you two, me, Ibby, Matt and Evan will come on doing their wild stuff that they do together. Like, it'd be fun. I mean, it'd be entertaining, but like, this has to be like it couldn't be a big series. It's got to be like another like White Sox series where we have Ibby on just to yell at each other. Just let's do it. Yeah. I mean, let's have some fun.
We definitely will get some special guests in on it. But like we said, one thing, I want to close this one out here for the final, 5 minutes of this stream. Today is our 200th episode, which means that we have been doing this for this like weekly show, even though it's been, I don't know, since 2023, we were doing the podcast, we were doing we've been doing this for, I don't know, it's been over 5 years. Has it been 5 years? 4 years?
I mean,
5 years. Yeah.
Yes, I mean the original idea, I think, was the Cohen took over that offseason.
Yeah, when Cohen took over, we had a live show where a lot of us met. I met Andrew and Frank, Tony Metro, who I'm sure a lot of people a lot of people know in this Mets space as well. I'm sure that you guys know him well. He used to be a regular on this show as well. Yeah, we've had plenty of creators, come and go. Obviously, a lot of the constants have been me, Frank, and Andrew. But yeah, I mean, it's been obviously a blast. Even when the team is not winning, we still find a way to have fun, have banter, and then obviously, can we get a group hug? I mean, through the screens, it's going to be kind of tough. And Matt is not really fond of us.
Matt
touching. Matt gets a little uncomfortable of that happening in public, but we'll try to figure it out. But listen, 200 episodes. I am hoping to do 2,000 more. Again, there's nobody that I would love to do this show more. And then also, Evan and Matt, who joined a few weeks ago as well, who I think have also added a fantastic either fire, insight, overall banter. I think that it's definitely been a really, really good ad as well. And we are definitely moving forward with we're moving forward. And the support that you guys have been giving us on these watch-along streams has been endless. We've got plenty of stuff coming. We have some membership programs in the... we have some membership programs in the works, so you guys can, for a certain subscription, you guys can get some certain emotes and some, advantages to... be first in line in call-ins, things like that, as this channel continues to grow. And even though the Mets vibes have been down, it has been awesome to share this space with everyone and to see this community grow the way that it has. This is also something that could happen. This could happen.
Oh, God.
You just never know. We also have talked about a possibility where Andrew stays in your house and cleans out your fridge, and then autographs your fridge, obviously, because you'll autograph the fridge too. So that's it. It's just one of those things. I mean, Andrew, if there's anything you want to say for 200 episodes here, I mean, 200 times we have talked about this team, then plus what we did before then. I mean, we have been at this for a long time, and I feel like we're doing it even more than we used to. It used to be like a once-a-week thing, nothing really fully branded, and now it's turned into an empire led by yours truly.
I mean, we got to be afraid to use that word because there was a phase of this channel with that name, so we'll keep that away. But yeah, again, to be able to do this, have some fun. Carson sometimes, you know what? At this point, you have access to. Again, we have an album coming. Exactly. Matt's saying it. We have albums
that could
in
be
the works.
another thing. Yeah,
like we got some. We got some stuff. I mean,
some that can't be shared on YouTube. Yeah, true.
Exactly. So you need to get, gotta get behind the paywall, but they're bangers. We'll have
definitely.
Obviously, we have the podcast and the daily streams. We'll have more content, and if we do the memberships, we'll have exclusive videos and Rhino ideas, and who knows by the time maybe this team's ever good, maybe maybe the co-hosts are gonna have more shows. Maybe we'll add more. Maybe there'll be more down the line.
We got some stuff in the works, man. It is popping off right now. You guys have been excellent with the full support. We've seen plenty of new viewers as well come in here. And then also that also does go to Evan and Matt and Mets Central as well, because they had some people that weren't watching us. We had some people that weren't watching them, so it kind of collaborated fairly well. And it seems like Matt and Evan have been having fun doing these watch-alongs, even with the team playing like complete shit. And hopefully that turns around at some point. And like we said, Nolan McLean on the mound tomorrow. Juan Soto's coming back. Here is your chance to stop it. But either way, thank you guys so much for 200 episodes, plus more, because this was going on for even longer than those 200 episodes. And I believe 150 of them have been live. So... that, again, we have definitely been on a insane grind for a while, and we're just going to continue to grow this out because we have a unit of people, 5 people right here that are, some very, very hard workers on these content, and a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that you guys don't see. And it goes into a lot of preparation, which, hopefully the Mets will start to learn to do. But either way, if this team is good, if this team is bad, we are here to talk about it, and we're not going to stop. Let's just say that. Wraith saying, Carson, congrats. You got content. Yeah, listen, we are pumping this thing out, pumping it out constantly. Not to the degree of what Evan and Matt do off stream, but it's a lot different. At the rate that we are putting things out now. And I think that we are definitely going into a more rapid and more efficient direction for Mets Weekly. May have took a little bit longer than you wanted it to, but just never know. Hornet saying, congrats, fire Mendoza. That is all. 100% agree with you. I don't know if there's anything else, but I think we're going to end it off here. Andrew, if there's anything else you want to add, it's really, really hard celebrating 200 episodes when the team has lost 11 in a row and it seems like the sky is falling and they look like complete cow manure. But, listen, it's a big milestone here. I mean, we've been around for, 5 years doing this thing. We've seen all of the Steve Cohen era, and most of us were watching way before then. So we're still going to voice our opinion. If you don't like it, tough tits. Thank you for the therapy. Listen, if it's a therapy session, if it's a camaraderie thing, if you want to just talk to Mets fans, that is what we are here for, and that's what we plan to build up. But Andrew, parting words here before we get out of here, and enjoy the rest of the off day. Get to Knicks basketball, which is in an hour.
Yeah.
They're already leading 1-0 over the Hawks because it seems like the Knicks can get the job done when they need to.
Yeah, again, a lot of shit's happened. Obviously, we got more in the works, and, hopefully, maybe next time, we'll talk about a win. And, maybe, I think, honestly, the greatest thing we do is, again, once we get that album released, maybe we just cancel the show. I mean, if we do break it down from the origination, we've killed a lot of people off, which is kind of crazy. Like, this show was like 15 people. Now it's like 5. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
It's it's
like Survivor.
It's like Survivor, and somehow the fat kid still survived. So, you know what? I entered as a human, and now I've become a rhino. So, good things happen. Content is great. And, again, hopefully this team gets its head out of its ass. And, maybe they can have a generational run before baseball expires and never happens again.
Boy, would that be awesome. But either way, we are going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching for 200 episodes or for 50 episodes or for 5 episodes. If you're just coming in, just discovering us, and you want to hitch a ride on this roller coaster that we know as Mets baseball, and join us every single one of these streams, which are pretty much daily at this current moment with the watch along streams. Either way, we hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Again, and we hope that you guys hit the subscribe button, join us, hop in the blue Ford, and it's going to be very, very fun. So make sure to turn on those post notifications to know when we go live, which seems to be every day now. Make sure to subscribe, follow Mets Weekly on X and on TikTok, follow all of us individually. And finally, let's go Mets. Let's snap this losing streak already. Just play better baseball, please. Play better baseball so we have even more things to be thankful for, other than just, camaraderie of people who are just depressed watching this team. So, We will see you guys to recap that Twins series, and then of course the watch along streams. We'll see you guys next time.